Hey coin collectors and enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and mysterious coins of the 20th century, the 1964 Lincoln penny. Is this simple 1-cent coin really worth a fortune? Could it be worth millions of dollars? Stay tuned, because today, we're going to unravel the mystery behind its market value and the incredible stories that surround it. Before we start talking about market values and the potential of this penny reaching $1 million, let's go back to 1964 and understand why this coin is so special. The Lincoln penny, with its timeless design, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The image of Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has been a staple of American currency ever since. But what makes the 1964 Lincoln penny so intriguing? Well, it all starts with its mintage and the year it was produced. In 1964, the U.S. government produced a huge number of pennies, mainly due to the demand for everyday change. But what really sets the 1964 D apart from its counterparts is the D mint mark. The D indicates that this penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which produced a significant portion of the pennies that year. With more than 4 billion pennies minted in total, you might think these coins are easy to find. However, here's where it gets interesting. While most 1964 Lincoln pennies are quite common, there are a few exceptions, rare varieties and errors that make them stand out and add value to these otherwise ordinary coins. One of the key factors that determine a penny's value is its condition. And the 1964 Lincoln penny has been spotted in some incredibly unique forms, such as double dies or misstrikes, which can drive up its worth significantly. A coin with visible errors can sometimes be worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars, far exceeding the penny's original face value. Now, let's talk about coin grading. The value of your 1964 penny will depend heavily on its grade. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A well-worn 1964 penny, with plenty of scratches or discoloration, might be worth only a few cents. But if you have one in mint state or uncirculated condition, it could fetch upwards of $10 to $20 on the open market. But there's a reason why people keep searching for these coins, because of the error types and specific conditions that push the 1964 penny to sky-high values. Error coins, like double dies or even off-center strikes, have the potential to sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But what about that $1 million price tag? Could a 1964 Lincoln penny really be worth $1 million? While a typical 1964 Lincoln penny in good to fine condition usually hovers around 10 to 50 cents, there are rare instances where one of these coins could sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. For example, a coin with a particularly rare error or a well-preserved specimen could attract such high prices, especially in the context of auctions where collectors are actively hunting for the rarest pieces. In 2018, a 1964 penny with a double die obverse error sold for over $200,000 at an auction. This isn't exactly the $1 million range yet, but it shows us that these coins do have the potential for extreme value, especially when they meet the right conditions. Coins like the 1964 Lincoln penny, particularly with minting errors, are highly sought after by serious collectors. These error coins are valuable because they're unique, and as the world of coin collecting grows, prices for rare finds like this can skyrocket. So, is a 1964 penny really worth $1 million? Technically, it's rare but not impossible. The key is finding the right coin with the right condition or error. Though most will never reach the $1 million mark, certain examples can be worth significant sums in today's market. Before you rush off to check your penny jar, remember this: the condition, rarity, and error types play a huge role in determining the worth of your coin. A $1 million 1964 Lincoln penny might just be a dream for now, but with patience and a keen eye, you could find a valuable piece worth far more than a simple penny. 1976 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, without a mint mark. Before we dive into its history and current market value, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on the latest coin finds and their incredible worth. Let's start by taking a look back at the history of this unique penny. The year 1976 was a monumental one in the U.S., as the country celebrated its bicentennial, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To commemorate this historic event, special bicentennial quarters were issued, featuring a reverse design that showcased the Liberty Bell and the 13 stars. However, this year wasn't just about quarters. The U.S. Mint also struck regular 1-cent coins, featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were released without a mint mark, which is highly unusual. Typically, U.S. coins are marked with a mint mark that identifies the facility where they were produced, such as D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. However, in 1976, a few pennies were struck in Philadelphia, without any mint mark at all. So why does this matter? Well, for coin collectors, any coin that deviates from the norm is valuable, and a mint markless penny from 1976 is an extremely rare anomaly. The absence of the mint mark on these coins sets them apart from the thousands of other 1976 Lincoln pennies produced that year. This tiny detail has collectors in a frenzy. And it's not just about rarity. This coin represents a perfect storm of history, a deviation from the standard minting process, and an item that is coveted by collectors and investors alike. Now, let's get to the fun part, the value. You might be wondering, how much is this penny worth today? Depending on the condition and whether the coin has been professionally graded, a 1976 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can range in value from a few $100s to several $1,000s. Most of these coins were produced with normal minting processes, but the few that were released without a mint mark are scarce. For example, an uncirculated 1976 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could fetch up to $1,500 to $3,000, or more if it's in pristine condition. And if the coin is certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC and has a high grade, it could easily surpass that price. Even a circulated penny, while not worth thousands, can still be valued at around $100 to $500 depending on its wear, rarity, and demand. Now, the big question is, how can you find one of these valuable coins? Well, it's not going to be easy. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't a common sight in everyday pocket change. The first step is to carefully examine your 1976 pennies. If the coin lacks a mint mark, that's the first clue you've got a potential gem. Look for coins that are in good condition. Higher grade examples are more desirable to collectors. If you find one, you'll want to get it professionally graded by one of the top coin grading services, like PCGS, NGC, or NX. A high-quality, well-preserved coin is what makes the difference between a few bucks and a potential $1,000 payday. Let's take a moment to talk about why this coin is so valuable. It's all about scarcity, history, and error. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rarity because, for the most part, coins from the Philadelphia Mint that year were struck with a mint mark. Errors like these are what fuel the market for rare coins. They're small, often overlooked, and easy to miss in a pile of change. But to collectors, these tiny imperfections, or rather, lack of markings, make all the difference. If you're thinking about investing in this coin, you're making a wise choice. Over the years, coin values tend to rise, especially as more collectors enter the hobby and as the supply of these rare coins continues to decrease. With the growing interest in rare and error coins, the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny could see its value continue to appreciate. As more time passes, the 1976 no mint mark penny will likely continue to be a valuable part of American numismatic history. In fact, with the current trend of interest in coin collecting and rare finds, we might even see the values soar into the higher 5 figures or beyond in the future. So, is your change jar hiding a $1,000 penny? It's possible. Whether you're just getting into coin collecting or are a seasoned veteran, keep an eye out for this rare find. The 1976 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is a stunning example of how small details in history can make a big difference in value. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a 1976 no mint mark penny, or if you're going to start looking for one now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more rare coin insights. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! This script provides a thorough and engaging explanation of the 1976 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, highlighting its rarity, market value, and why it's so valuable to collectors. 1976 The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but with the right details, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. In this video, we'll explore its history, its current market value, and why some of these pennies are worth millions of dollars. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. The year 1976 was a milestone in American history. Not only was it the bicentennial year, marking 200 years since the Declaration of Independence, but it also marked the release of a unique set of coins, including the bicentennial quarter and a few commemorative pennies. However, when it comes to the Lincoln penny, things are a bit more interesting than just another minting year. Unlike the bicentennial quarters, which were minted in both proof and uncirculated versions to commemorate the year, the 1976 Lincoln penny had an interesting twist. It was a regular issue penny with a D mint mark, signifying that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The 1976 Lincoln penny features the iconic design we've all come to recognize, Abraham Lincoln's portrait by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But there's something special about the 1976 penny that collectors look for: its pristine condition, any minting errors, and of course, the D mint mark. These details will determine its value. So, what exactly makes the 1976 Lincoln penny so valuable? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the coin's condition. Like most coins, the value of the 1976 Lincoln penny is largely influenced by how well it's been preserved. Most of these pennies, found in circulation, are in average condition, which means they're worth just a few cents. But when a penny is in mint state, meaning it's barely been touched or shows no signs of wear, the value increases dramatically. Now, error coins are where things get interesting. Sometimes, minting mistakes happen that can make a coin exponentially more valuable. With the 1976 penny, error varieties like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks have been found and can lead to huge paydays for those lucky enough to find them. As of now, a regular 1976 Lincoln penny, in average circulated condition, is worth only around 2 to 3 cents, just a small bump above its face value. However, if you find one in gem mint condition, you're looking at a value of $5 to $10. That's right! Some error coins from the 1976 series have fetched prices ranging from a few $100s to thousands, and in extremely rare cases, even more. We've seen certain mis-strikes and die errors selling for upwards of $20,000 at auctions. But in the world of rare coins, there's one big question: is the 1976 penny worth millions? Here's where it gets exciting. Although most 1976 Lincoln pennies are worth only a few bucks, there have been reports of near-mint examples and error varieties selling for tens of thousands of dollars. But the $1 million mark is a bit of a stretch for the 1976 Lincoln penny. So, if you find a 1976 penny, it's important to have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to get a proper valuation. Will you find one worth millions? Probably not. But it's always worth checking your pennies, especially if you spot something out of the ordinary. And hey, sometimes those hidden treasures are right under our noses. So, how can you tell if your 1976 penny could be valuable? Here are a few tips to look out for. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are much more valuable than those in typical circulated conditions. Look for signs of double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes that could significantly increase the value of your coin. Some of these errors can make a 1976 penny a highly sought-after item for collectors. And remember, the best way to authenticate and determine your coin's true value is by getting it professionally graded. To wrap it up, the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny is far more than just a coin you might find in your pocket. While most are worth just a few cents, a small percentage of these pennies, especially those with mint errors or in excellent condition, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. However, million-dollar values are extremely rare and largely depend on those rare varieties and the coin's condition. So, if you have a 1970-60 penny lying around, take a closer look. It could be worth more than you think, or perhaps you're holding a future treasure. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content about coin collecting. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found a valuable penny in your collection? I'd love to hear your stories. The 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln Penny. This seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth thousands, and in some rare cases, even millions of dollars. So, let's explore why this small coin has such a big value and what makes it so unique. Stick around, because you won't want to miss this. Now you might be wondering, what's so special about a 1988 penny? Is it just another run-of-the-mill coin? Well, not quite. There's something rare about the 1988 penny that could make it worth far more than its face value. Most of the US coins you see in circulation have a mint mark. That little letter, D for Denver or S for San Francisco, tells you where the coin was struck. However, the 1988 penny is part of a fascinating era that has caught the eyes of collectors and investors alike. The 1988 No Mint Mark penny is an anomaly. If you look closely, you'll notice that there's no mint mark on the coin. This is a very rare occurrence, especially since most pennies from this year were struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a D. But for a small number of pennies, the mint mark was missing altogether. This could be due to a number of factors, such as a die error, making this penny highly desirable among collectors. In fact, estimates suggest that only a small percentage of the 1988 pennies were minted without a mint mark. This makes them extremely rare, with only a handful being discovered over the years. It's no surprise that rare coins like this catch the attention of serious collectors. Let's talk about the condition and grading. As with any rare coin, the condition is everything. The 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny in mint condition can fetch prices in the hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. A coin with a grade of MS65 or higher can be worth upwards of $500 to $1,000 depending on market demand. For those of you who are unfamiliar with coin grading, coins are evaluated based on their condition, from poor to mint state. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are worth far more than those showing heavy wear and tear. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There have been some truly extraordinary finds, uncirculated, gem-quality 1988 No Mint Mark pennies, that have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. For example, an MS67 1988 No Mint Mark penny recently sold for $35,000 at auction. Just imagine finding one of these hidden in your coin jar. And that's not all. Some of these coins have been known to sell for even higher prices, depending on the buyer's interest and the market conditions. You might be thinking, but is this penny really worth millions? Well, while most of these coins sell for tens of thousands of dollars, it's not impossible for one of these pennies to cross into the million-dollar territory. Here's where things get even juicier. The value of rare coins can fluctuate based on the collector market, and if there's ever a bidding war for one of these, you could see the price skyrocket. A single 1988 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny with a perfect grade could potentially fetch over $1 million if a major collector wants to add it to their collection. Think about the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double-die penny. Both of these coins have reached record-breaking prices due to their rarity and the competition among collectors. The 1988 No Mint Mark penny, while not as famous as these, is on its way to becoming a top-tier contender. So, what does this mean for you, the collector or casual coin hunter? If you have a 1988 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, it's time to take a closer look. If the condition is pristine, or if you find one that's truly unique, you could have a hidden treasure on your hands. To check for a 1988 No Mint Mark penny, make sure to closely examine the area where the mint mark should be. If it's not there, you've got yourself an error coin. But remember, condition is king. The better the grade, the higher the value. If you think you've got one, it's best to get it graded by a professional service like the PCGS or NGC. A certified, graded coin will increase your chances of getting top dollar if you decide to sell. To sum it up, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of change, it's a potential gold mine. From hundreds of dollars to $1 million, the market value of this coin depends on a variety of factors. But one thing's for sure, its rarity makes it a treasure worth searching for. 1990 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. If you think this might just be another penny, think again. There are some interesting details behind its current market value, and you'll be amazed to learn just how much it's worth today, and even more intriguing, its potential to reach $1 million territory. Let's get started. At first glance, the 1990 penny might seem like any other standard copper-plated 1-cent coin. After all, it's got Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with his iconic image facing left, and the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But there's something special about this particular coin, and that's what sets it apart from the billions of other pennies minted in 1990. The 1990 penny, in general, was struck in massive quantities, with over 6 billion pennies produced that year. But here's the catch: some 1990 pennies were struck without a mint mark, and that is the key factor in determining their rarity and value. Now, to understand the rarity of this penny, we need to talk about mint marks. Mint marks are small letters found on coins, typically indicating where the coin was minted. In 1990, most pennies had a mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But some 1990 pennies were struck without any mint mark, and these are the ones that have attracted a lot of attention from collectors. So, why does the absence of a mint mark matter? Well, it's because no one expected to find these coins. They were likely the result of a small error in the minting process. Over time, this error became known as the 1990 no mint mark penny, and because of that rarity, it sparked a lot of interest in the numismatic community. Let's take a look at the current market value of this penny. In circulated condition, a 1990 no mint mark penny is worth around 5 to 10 cents, which is only a small premium over its face value. However, if you find one in uncirculated, mint condition, well, that's where things get interesting. Uncirculated examples, especially those with high grades like MS65 or higher, can fetch upwards of $50 to $150 in the current market. But the really valuable ones, those in perfect mint condition, could reach values even higher, up to $500 or more. Coin grading is crucial when it comes to assessing the value of a coin. Grading scales like the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, are used to determine the quality of a coin. A 1990 no mint mark penny graded as MS65 is considered to be in excellent condition, while one graded as MS70, essentially flawless, would be valued at the highest end of the market. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, can a 1990 no mint mark penny ever be worth $1 million? While a typical example may not fetch that kind of money, a penny with an extremely high grade and impeccable provenance could potentially be sold for significant amounts at auction in the future, especially if demand grows and the coin becomes even rarer. It's important to note that rare coins, especially those with unique characteristics or errors, often see their values appreciate dramatically in the long run. The market for rare coins is influenced by collectors' demand, the rarity of the coin, and its overall condition. So, while it might take decades for the 1990 no mint mark penny to reach $1 million value, anything is possible in the world of rare coin collecting. To sum it all up, if you happen to come across a 1990 no mint mark penny, here's what you need to know about its market value. If you own one of these coins, it's important to protect it in a safe place, especially if you believe it could be a higher grade specimen. Consider having it professionally graded and certified by a reputable service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, to get the most accurate assessment of its value. So there you have it. While the 1990 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny might not make you an instant millionaire, it certainly holds great value in the world of coin collecting, especially as the years go by and the coin's rarity increases. Always keep an eye on your pennies, you never know when one could be worth more than its weight in copper. 1993 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. This seemingly ordinary penny has the potential to surprise you with its extraordinary value. If you're a coin collector, you might want to pay attention because this penny could be worth much more than you think. So, let's explore why this coin could be worth potentially millions of dollars in today's market. First, let's take a closer look at the 1993 Lincoln 1-cent penny itself. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies, just like any other year. Typically, these pennies are worth just 1 cent, but this coin is unique in a special way. What makes the 1993 Lincoln penny stand out is that some of them were minted without a mint mark. Normally, you would find a small mint mark, either in D4 Denver or in S4 San Francisco on the obverse side of the coin, right beneath the date. However, if your penny doesn't have any mint mark, it's from the Philadelphia Mint, which is where this particular mystery arises. But here's where things get interesting. In certain cases, rare errors and misprints can make a coin extraordinarily valuable. In the case of the 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, some collectors believe that the lack of mint mark could be due to an error or mistake during the minting process, making these coins rarer than we initially thought. Now you might be wondering, what does this mean for its value? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is key. Most of these 1993 pennies with no mint mark still circulate with little to no added value beyond their face value. But some rare specimens, especially those with other key error features, have the potential to fetch astronomical prices. Let's talk about the current market value. In general, a standard 1993 Lincoln penny without a mint mark will only be worth about 1 to 10 cents at most. But if you've got a pristine example, one with a unique error or an especially high grade, that's when things get exciting. Coins that have been graded as MS65 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can easily fetch between $50 and $100, depending on the market. If the coin is in mint condition and has been verified as a true error, the value can shoot even higher. Now for the big question, could this coin be worth $1 million? The short answer is yes, in very rare cases. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare and uncirculated coins, especially those with unusual minting errors. If a 1993 Lincoln penny without a mint mark were to be found in absolutely pristine condition, verified as an authentic minting mistake, and graded highly, it could potentially be sold for tens of thousands or even more, depending on the demand and interest from wealthy collectors. While the chances of finding a 1993 Lincoln penny worth $1 million are slim, it's still possible. Some auction houses and coin dealers have seen rarer error coins sell for 6 figures, and with the right buyer, who knows just how high it could go. And the best part? You don't have to be a seasoned collector to find one of these rare pennies. Just keep your eyes peeled for those little details. No mint mark, a pristine condition, and maybe even an error that could turn your regular penny into a gold mine. So, if you happen to come across a 1993 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to examine it closely. If you think you've found something extraordinary, it's worth getting it appraised by a professional. Remember, the world of coin collecting can be full of surprises. That simple 1993 penny in your pocket might just be the next big thing. So, go check your change, grab those pennies, and who knows, you could be holding on to a hidden treasure worth millions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting coin discoveries. See you in the next video. 1995 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. But here's the big question. Is this coin really worth $1 million? Or is it just a myth that's been circulating among collectors? Well, today, we're going to explore everything about this coin, its history, its market value, and of course, whether it's really worth millions. Stay tuned, because this is going to be an exciting ride. Alright, let's start with a little history. The 1995 Lincoln penny is just like any other penny at first glance. It's a copper-plated zinc coin, issued by the U.S. Mint to honor the 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. The obverse features Lincoln's portrait, which has been used since 1909, designed by the renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, but here's where it gets interesting. If you look closely, you might notice something a little unusual. You see, this coin was minted in 1995, and while most pennies have a mint mark indicating where they were produced, the 1995 no mint mark penny lacks this tiny letter, and D for Denver or S for San Francisco. That's the first clue that this penny might be special. Now the big question, why is the 1995 penny without a mint mark so special? Well, here's the thing. In 1995, the US Mint actually minted some pennies without a mint mark at all, specifically those produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, but that year, some confusion arose because a small batch was produced without any indication of where they were made. The result? A rare anomaly. This error created a buzz among collectors, and ever since, this coin has been on the radar for those hunting for valuable finds. Now, it's important to note that these 1995 no mint mark pennies are not officially considered to be a major error by the US Mint. But the rarity of these coins, combined with the fact that they've slipped under the radar for many collectors, has driven their market price up significantly. So, let's talk about the value of the 1995 no mint mark penny in today's market. In general, a regular 1995 penny is worth just 1 cent. But for a 1995 no mint mark penny in good condition, collectors have been known to pay more, sometimes hundreds of dollars. And if you're lucky enough to have one in excellent condition, such as a grade of MS 67 or higher, it could fetch as much as $1,000 or more at auction. However, here's the big question, is it worth $1 million? Well, that's a bit of a stretch. There have been claims that a 1995 no mint mark penny could be worth millions, but these are more speculative stories rather than proven sales. The most expensive examples of this coin have sold for upwards of $1,000, and in some rare cases, even more if they're in pristine, uncirculated condition. So, what factors affect the value of the 1995 no mint mark penny? Well, like any rare coin, condition is everything. If your penny has scratches, dirt, or is heavily worn, it's not going to be worth as much as one in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Another factor to consider is the demand from collectors. While a 1995 no mint mark penny is rare, it's not necessarily the most sought-after coin in the world. It's still a part of a much larger market, and as with any investment, market trends can fluctuate. You might be wondering, are there other pennies out there that could potentially be worth millions? The short answer is yes. Other rare pennies, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double-die penny, have fetched millions of dollars in the right conditions. These coins share the same characteristics that make the 1995 no mint mark penny valuable: rarity, condition, and demand. So, should you rush out and start collecting 1995 no mint mark pennies hoping to strike it rich? Well, while it's certainly exciting to find a rare coin, I wouldn't recommend banking on finding $1 million coin in your pocket change. Like any collectible, coin values can fluctuate, and the market is unpredictable. If you're a collector who loves the thrill of the hunt, the 1995 no mint mark penny could be a great addition to your collection. Just be sure to focus on the thrill of finding a rare coin, rather than expecting to retire early from it. There you have it. While the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is certainly rare and has a higher market value than most pennies, it's not quite the $1 million coin that some might claim it to be. However, its uniqueness, along with its intriguing history, makes it a valuable piece for any coin collection. So if you come across one, make sure to get it graded, and who knows, you could be sitting on a rare find. 1997 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. Is it just another modern cent, or could it be worth a small fortune? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just take a second look at that pocket change. Text on screen. 1997 D. Lincoln penny worth. Is it worth $1 million? Before we jump into the value of the 1997 D penny, let's take a quick stroll down history. The Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, was first issued in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Since then, it's become one of the most recognizable and collected coins in American history. Now, fast forward to 1997. The U.S. Mint, which produces these coins, struck billions of pennies in this year alone. The D Mint mark on this coin tells us it was produced in Denver, Colorado. But does this particular coin have something special about it? Or is it just another regular penny? Let's start by looking at the basic value. For most 1997 D Lincoln pennies in average circulated condition, you're looking at about 1 cent. Yes, just your typical penny. But wait! There's more to this story. Just because a coin is from a certain year, doesn't mean it's automatically worth only a cent. You need to factor in the coin's condition, rarity, and sometimes a few unique features. Cut to close-up shots of a 1997 D penny under a magnifying glass, showing different coin conditions, from worn to uncirculated. To understand the true value, we have to consider a few key factors. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear. A coin in mint state or uncirculated condition is far more valuable than one that's been through years of pocket wear. If your 1997 D penny looks like it was just minted yesterday, you might have something worth more than 1 cent. While the 1997 D penny isn't the rarest coin ever minted, certain unique errors or minting flaws can drastically increase its value. A misstruck penny or one with a notable anomaly could fetch higher prices from collectors. Market demand. As with any collectible, the demand for specific coins rises and falls. If there's a surge in demand for the 1997 D penny, prices could climb, even for those in average condition. Now, here's where things get interesting. While most 1997 D pennies are worth face value, a few rare variations can fetch some impressive amounts. These include, occasionally, a coin is struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling of letters or numbers. If your 1997 D penny has this type of error, it can be worth significantly more. Sometimes, a penny isn't perfectly aligned when it's struck by the press, causing the design to be off-center. These errors can make your coin a unique find for collectors, and prices for such pieces can easily climb into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Die cracks and other minting flaws. Small imperfections in the die used to strike the coins can create cracks or extra features on the coin's design, making it more valuable to error coin collectors. Cut to a dramatic shot of a $1 million bill slowly transforming into a stack of coins. So, let's get down to the big question. Can a 1997 D penny be worth $1 million? In short, unlikely. A regular 1997 D penny, no matter how well preserved, isn't going to fetch $1 million at auction. However, the market for rare coins is always evolving. For rarer coins or exceptionally rare variations, you could potentially see prices in the hundreds, or even low thousands. The right kind of buyer, an auction with strong demand, or a truly unique coin could push the value upwards. To put it into perspective, most 1997 D pennies are not worth more than a few dollars, but a rare error might fetch thousands, especially if it's in excellent condition. Cut to close-up footage of a coin collector using a magnifying glass, scanning a penny for errors. So, how do you know if your 1997 D penny is worth more than a cent? Here's what you should do: look for signs of wear. If it's in great condition, particularly if it's uncirculated or mint state, you may be in luck. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to closely inspect the coin. Are there any signs of a double die? Maybe it looks off-center or has a die crack. If so, you could have a valuable error coin on your hands. When in doubt, don't hesitate to seek a professional coin appraiser or take your coin to a reputable dealer for an evaluation. They can provide a more accurate assessment of its value. In conclusion, while your 1997 D Lincoln penny might not be worth $1 million, it could still be a valuable piece of history. Whether it's in pristine condition, carries an error, or is part of a special collection, the value of these pennies can surprise you. Keep an eye on your collection, because you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem. 2016 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. This penny might look ordinary at first glance, but it holds a surprising story. Stick with me as we explore its history, rarity, and what it's worth on today's market. Trust me, you might just have a little treasure on your hands. Let's start with the basics. The 2016 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is part of the annual series produced by the United States Mint. You'll recognize the obverse side, featuring a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has remained on the penny since 1909. But what really sets this coin apart from others in the series is its lack of a mint mark. In 2016, pennies were typically minted at the three main U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, a mint mark is stamped on the reverse side of the coin, indicating where it was struck. But here's the twist with the 2016 penny: many were struck in Philadelphia, and unlike other coins, it didn't bear the usual P mint mark, which left collectors wondering if this was a rare occurrence. Why? Because, for over a century, the mint mark has typically been omitted on the pennies produced in Philadelphia, but never in such a significant quantity. While it may not seem like much, a no mint mark penny can be quite a collector's dream. These coins are generally rarer, and sometimes they end up being worth much more than their face value due to a few factors. The fact that this coin was produced in a year with unusual minting practices makes it more desirable for collectors seeking to complete their sets with unique pieces. Now let's talk about its market value. The 2016 no mint mark penny is still relatively new in terms of value, but depending on the condition, it can already fetch a pretty penny. For example, a standard 2016 no mint mark penny in circulation condition may still only be worth around 1 cent, as you might expect. But here's where things get interesting: the value skyrockets when you get into uncirculated, proof, or even error coins. If you happen to find a 2016 no mint mark penny in uncirculated condition, or, better yet, in perfect grade, you might be looking at a value anywhere between $1 and $5, maybe even more, depending on demand and scarcity. These pennies, because of their rarity and the fact that they weren't minted in the same quantities as other years, can become valuable collector's items. But here's the real jackpot for some collectors: error coins. If your 2016 no mint mark penny has any mistakes, such as misprints, double strikes, or other abnormalities, the value can jump into the hundreds of dollars. Some error coins have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions, especially if they feature unique or unusual errors. If you're lucky enough to have one of these, your coin could be worth a lot more than you ever expected. As we look at the market today, the value of rare pennies, especially those from recent years like the 2016 no mint mark, is steadily increasing. While they aren't million-dollar coins yet, like those famous 1943 copper pennies or 1909 SVDD pennies, they're still climbing in value. As time goes on, collectors and investors alike will continue to pay close attention to the rarity of these coins, which means that their worth could grow significantly in the future. Could a 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny ever reach the $1 million mark? Well, coins in this category typically don't hit that level of value unless they're truly exceptional. Think about coins with unique historical significance, rare errors, or that have been preserved in perfect condition for over a century. However, who knows what the future holds? As the demand for rare and unique coins grows, even relatively recent pennies could see major appreciation, especially if new finds come to light. So, while your 2016 no mint mark penny might not be worth millions just yet, it's definitely a coin to keep an eye on. If you come across one in mint condition or discover a rare error, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of history. The key takeaway here: always check your change, and never underestimate the potential of a seemingly ordinary coin. If you're a coin collector or just starting out, don't forget to hold on to those rare finds. You never know what treasures you might discover.